So good afternoon. Am I audible to everyone? Okay. So you all attended yesterday? All of you who were here? Yesterday's session. So how was it? Okay. So last time who all attended the session? January. So how was it? Like after the first session, how did it make difference for you? Like did it help you? The way, the perspectives and all? Okay, chalo, now I'll start directly with ecology and environment. So I won't be spoon feeding you guys. If at all you are expecting me to do that, you have just 19 topics in your hand. I'll just tell you how you have to actually see the current affairs, what you have to see reading through the lines. That's what we'll see today. Prelims, mains and interview. How questions can be asked in these three ways. Okay. Prelims may, you know how questions are asked with respect to ecology and environment. Let's say for example you read a news about vultures, like vultures are, the whole population of vultures is declining in India. What is happening? There's a vulture restaurant. The government of India is starting Save Vulture and all this. But how can you expect a question from vulture, from that news in prelims? Why declining? Okay. No, I want more answers. Why vultures are declining? The population, the reasons for decline of vulture population. Okay. Next, any other guesses? Yes, critically endangered. Or yes. Government's initiatives. Any other answer? Name of the chemical. Yeah, that is related to why the vulture population is decreasing. Diclofenac. No? Okay, see, the guesses are right exactly. From the news, what you have to see is vultures actually a threatened species in India. Okay, it falls under which category? Vulnerable, critically endangered, or endangered, yeah, completely extinct. So from here, you just should not narrow down your focus to vultures. You have to see what are the other species, especially in aves, that is in birds, in India. And then the causes for decline of vulture population. That is in Kerala, there is a news like for the cattle, there's a diclofenac, and then when the vultures eat those dead animals, it gets into the bioaccumulated, biomagnification happens. So these are the hidden newses from one small news. You should be able to find that. Another is, let's say there's one news in your ecology and environment about snowflake corals. If you see at the end, snowflake corals. If you have, how many of you have seen Titanic movie? Okay, yeah, everybody. From the first scene, I'll just talk about the first scene where they go into the sea, the whole shipwreck. You know, you see the corals. So that is snowflake corals. So why you will know, once you know what is a snowflake coral, where they can grow much, then you will find out what are the causes, why it is an invasion species. They say it is an invasion species. So what is invasion species? Then you can read in general about coral reefs. In Goching Leong, you have a really good chapter, a complete chapter about coral reefs. How many of you read Goching Leong? It's a wonderful book. Trust me guys, if you have hatred for geography, you should start from that book. It will take you. It's a good book. You can read that. So I just gave you an example for prelims, how you should actually look for questions in any given news. Then mains. The same news, like I said, snowflake corals. They might not ask directly about snowflake corals, but they ask about coral reefs in general. What are the reasons for the declining population of coral reefs? Why, what's happening in Andaman, especially to that? Or other news is about, there are a lot of news is related to climate change. Temperature rise, temperature is falling down, there's carbon monoxide increase, there's greenhouse gases, everything somehow it comes to climate change. It ends one point, however diverged it takes anything, it stands at one point. So every news is important for you when it comes to ecology and environment. Even if you are not being able to use the entire syllabus, the entire content of a news, in a question, a part of the question can always be used as part of an answer that you write in mains. So you just need to know how to summarize an entire news. You might think this news is not at all necessary, but that one news will help you in giving us an example, or it will help you in giving a reason why something is happening. Okay, this is how you have to look for. Actually, how will you be able to do all this? When you read a news, you question yourself, what can be asked from this news in mains? This is called smart prediction. You ask yourself, what question possibly can be asked in mains? How I can use this particular news in my mains answer? In every news that you read, you put this question, you will come to that 1-2 statement. You compress the whole news into 1 or 2 statement and you will remember it. So you know where to use it. Somehow it will come to your mind. It will help you anywhere. Just that don't skip any of the news that you think, no, this is not important, this is factual. Every factual information is also important for the current affairs, from current affairs, be it as prelims or mains. And in interview how it helps, if it is related to your degree, if it is related to your state, if it is a burning issue, a sensational issue, today morning you saw for the past 1 week it's happening. Something, if you can connect that to you, it is not necessary it has to connect to you, anything, somehow if you find a connection with you, indirectly or directly, it has a connection, then that news has importance for your interview. Clear? So shall we start? Okay, the first news is International Solar Alliance. So this one we actually discussed in the January current affairs also. So I'll just ask you a question. So you all know what is Solar Alliance, International Solar Alliance? Who coined it? Who came up with this idea? Yes? Yes, Modi, the Prime Minister. So there is a box near your current affairs, something called Sunshine Countries. Why this is in news? Why they have given this in box specifically? See, there's in the graph, in the image if you see, there's a yellow part. This is called the countries that is lying between this Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn. All the countries that is lying partially or wholly inside this area, they are called sunshine countries. Okay, the question can be not directly from International Solar Alliance. See, like I'll say, consider the following countries. I'll just ask you a question. Consider the following countries falls completely between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Argentina, Brazil and Chile. Consider the following countries that falls completely between the Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. You know where is Tropic of Cancer, you know where is Tropic of Capricorn. The image is very clear right in front of you. I am giving you option of 6 countries. You just have to tell me which of the countries falls completely inside these 2. Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, Chile, Argentina and Brazil. See, except Ecuador and Brazil, all the other countries falls completely inside. So if you have a map, can go through. Okay, this is your homework. Chile also falls completely. Okay. No, we'll just see. I just framed the question. So this is equator. Sorry. Okay, it's taking time. Let's see whenever it's getting loaded. Till then, we'll clarify the doubts. We'll go to the next thing. So let's say coming to objectives of International Solar Alliance. So what are the objectives? First thing is to start any.
Say 121 countries.
That is the number of countries, sunshine countries,
And
that
other
are.
countries.
He is calling the other countries also, but the main objective is under International Solar Alliance. He is calling the 121 countries that is falling inside this, between Tropic of Cancer and Capricorn, partially and completely, all the countries, to form a group. He said, we are the sons of sun, calling Surya Putra. Okay, he came up with this term. He christened this name as Surya Putra in Indo-Africa Summit, and the name was finally given as International Agency for Solar Policy and Application. Surya Putra is the nickname he gave for all these countries which falls in the direct sun rays of.
Your slide says 121 countries and here it is mentioned 107 countries.
No, this is from the, what do you say, the Solar Alliance website. Okay, so this was the initial news, this is the very latest news. So this is January current affairs, based on January current affairs. This is from the recent update. That is also there. So there are a lot of changes. See this new 300. There are few countries which still the days of sunshine. That's what, partially or completely.
And rather it was earlier between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. Now it is like 30 degrees north and 30 degrees south.
These are the changes later. So, okay. So let's go to the objectives. Objectives, you have to see what are the objectives of International Solar Alliance. So they don't ask you directly in prelims what are the objectives of International Solar Alliance, but in mains, only if you know the objectives, you will understand why. My first question is why certain objectives are defined. Because either these must be lacking or they don't have entirely these things, so they want to bring these points. So let's say promote solar technologies and investment. So there are not much investment abhi tak, not fully, who's doing investing in solar energy as much as they invest in oil or in petroleum. So they don't have technology. It's not that they don't have completely, the technology have to improve. It cannot stand at one place, right, at one thing. And then they have to also think about the global income of the poor. Their poor, they have to, their lifestyle has also to be improved. Then once after all this is done, you manufacture something and how do you spread it to the world? You need programs and initiatives, projects to do that. Then finance, at one point you need more finance. So these are the points. So from one stage you cross the next stage, you should immediately think what will be the next bottleneck for you. You have designs, you have money now, you have made a product, you have a group of people. Now next thing is you have to take to the market, so you have to frame a project or program. You have taken to that level. Then there are more problems, because once your product is coming into the market, if 2-3 other players sees your product, they can easily replicate it, anything, private players. So you have to keep updating yourself. Otherwise China market, just like China market, you get every Chinese product, you will get Chinese product in Solar Alliance also. So they have to keep updating their technology also. So you need mechanism for that, fund mechanism for that. Yes. So right now it is, that's what it is, they are either they are adding, okay, don't worry about these numbers, they'll keep changing. Today one country will add, tomorrow after 1 week you will find another news that 2-3 people they have not ratified, they'll remove it. So it will keep changing. Before it was 107, then it became 121, then 4 people rejected. Now from Tropic of Cancer to Capricorn, it became from 30 degree north to 30 degree south. So what we have to understand is not the fact, what are the objectives and what it is going to help. So this is what the right, you know the news, okay. The example that I gave you. And then benefits to India. So what are the benefits? From International Solar Alliance, what are the benefits? India is giving land, India is giving money, it is giving a place in Gurgaon to set up everything. What are its benefits? What are the gains that it's getting? Energy efficiency? Yes. Renewable energy? Employment generation?
Fulfilling the promise of
Cheap power is at secondary level.
that's for long term.
Long term measures, yes. Technology, what technology? Eco-friendly technology. Or
Vocational training courses. Vocational training can be.
okay, employment generation.
meeting ILDC.
Nationally determined contribution targets. So meeting that would be one primary target for them to involve in International Solar Alliance. So many benefits are there for India. What are the challenges before India to implement this? Fund. See, land, there's land, but what is the problem with land? Land acquisition problem hai? Okay, I'm actually expecting a very precise answer.
Technological concept.
See, you have land, let's say you have acquired land also. I'm giving you, okay, I'm a state government, I'm telling you from my state, you take this place, this much place. Then what problem exactly you face with land? See, you having a land to set up a solar power plant is not a problem. From that solar power plant, how do you take the generation to power stations, substations? Connectivity. Grid connectivity is what transmission centers. So acquiring land in India is not a problem. So acquiring the land which is near the substations, and how do you connect it and you send it? You have to, there's no point the whole power is generated at one place and if it is not used. Okay, excess power, how to stop the excess power? All this has not been done. So they just said, okay, by this year we will enter into all this. So these are the problems. You have to look into the problems in detail. Land, acquiring land is never a problem. Acquisition also. See, if government thinks no, they need land, they can acquire. Somehow they pay, they make sure there will be problems, but they acquire, they'll find an alternative. But what exactly the problem is when you want to acquire the land for solar power? This is what you want. So it's actually a good potential question for 2016 because it is a very major leap for India to go forward. So solar energy, renewable energy is a very good potential question for your mains. So try to know the challenges, objectives, benefits. What are the benefits of the program? This will tell you what is missing or what is lacking. From that, you will know the benefits, and from benefits, you will also know if there are certain benefits and few things. If it cannot be put forward, then there are challenges. What are the challenges? But know the challenges in detail. You say, I have written everything well in my mains examination, I have written benefits, I have written challenges for a specific question, but have you written very precisely? You might have understood the question, you know how to structure an answer, but the content inside what you wrote and what your friend wrote must be different. That is more important. You should, it's like hitting the bull's eye. You should know exactly what the problem is. That's what I said. This is how you have to look for the points. So next is Bharat Stage 6 norms by 2020.
Ma'am, like there is a fear that because of the solar alliance systems, the implementation of solar panel on the productive land may decrease the agricultural productivity. So how should the government focus on this problem?
No, that's what have you read in detail about land acquisition bill?
So there is not only about the land acquisition bill.
Mhm.
If you just
See, in productive lands, they won't do it. In Gujarat, even when they have set up solar power plants, they have not set up in only in a in a agricultural land. It's not so there are lands specifically they have acquired for it, and So this is land. Yes.
And even in Gujarat, there was no acquisition of land. They have set up solar panels over the railways.
Huh.
So rather than going to implement the solar panel on land, we can first go on to implement panel on the commercial institution and the big industrial.
See, commercial institution में what you're talking about in a small scale.
I mean, if you see on the large scale, I mean the overall India, so there are, I think, around.
How do you connect? You see, if you want to harness power, you have to produce a lot. Only then you can distribute it.
Like, as you said earlier, like there is a panel at the local level, but there is no transmission lines. So if you would have, I mean, at a transmission line at the local level, so that would make the task easier. Delivering the
You
power.
can give us a suggestion. You can give this point as a suggestion, but there are bottlenecks there also. See, local level में what happens at commercial, there is no even distribution of sunlight. One building is height is very less, the other building's height is very big. Where do you know when the sun rays has to fall straight on the solar panel? How do you know which gets? And then there is something called photovolatility, solar radiance, solar irradiance. So based on the solar radiance, the quality of power also changes. You know?
Moreover, it's like it works on the principle of economies of scale.
हाँ, you need in a large scale. You can give this as a way forward, but this is a very, I'll tell you the big bottleneck is no buildings are of same height. One has first floor, the other one has in very high level, and how much you can harness in the topmost building in a city, and what will happen to a very smaller level.
That in the village and the city, we are facing the different problems. Like in the village, we are facing the connecting, that is taking the power efficiently from the solar panel to the transmission lines. But in the urban areas, we have the transmission line at the local level. That is whatever they.
Okay, I'll discuss this. It's going away from this. I'll discuss with you after that. We'll go.
What's the role of France in this ISC? Is there any specific role or just
No, just they club together, and then that's what it's given. No, the first point is that together they will do it. They'll give technology, they will give land and fund.
Well, the reason was something like because we were not ready to import solar panels from US.
So
had
they
to work
were-
with the European countries.
So next one is Bharat Stage 6 norms by 2020. So the first point says, which is in bullet, that we are moving from stage 4 to stage 6. Is it possible by 2020? The statement starts with a challenge. This is the biggest challenge. See, already we are right now in a position where we are struggling between Bharat stage 3 and 4. Now we have to shift to altogether to stage 6, which is of European norms. So you know what is Bharat stage? Fuel efficiency. Emissions. It is related to emissions actually. Waiting for the So when we have to go to stage 6, they say there's a problem with fuel, mainly with the kind of fuel we use. That also decides in which stage we come. So what is the problem with our present fuel? High sulfur content and particulate matter. Okay, what it does to the vehicle? It clogs it.
Reduces the efficiency of the vehicle.
It's not efficiently burnt, and then the carbon monoxide release is high, which leads to sulfur. Yeah, the sulfur content becomes more. So here what you can I can ask you this one question is there any alternate fuel? What are the alternate fuels that you know? What are the, no, Jetrofos is source to create a alternate fuel, but what are the names of those fuels? Ethanol, CNG, LPG. So these are the alternate fuels. And whatever the particulate matter that is released in the atmosphere, it causes what kind of disease? respiratory diseases. So what are the different respiratory diseases? It's there in the statement. You can, sorry, not different kinds. High concentration of which of the following can cause a respiratory disease? Which of the gas? Or so this is one question they might ask. So basically it is just you have to ask yourself how the questions can be asked and go through it. So what are the challenges faced by Indian government in moving from stage 4 to stage 6? High expenses. Fund is by default there for every problem we have. We don't have enough money. You can add this other than funding. Technological upgrade. Can you be specific in your answer? Where you find the where do you need a technological
Manufacturing line needs to modify in order.
See, I'll tell you something like this. In India, the refineries where we produce oil and everything, we have right now for stage 3 and stage 4. Immediately to make it to outdated, completely outdated, few equipments are technologies. So to completely outdated, you have to change those equipments. And especially in northeastern states, there are 4 refineries where we need a complete update. Remove everything out of there and then reinstall everything new for stage 6. So before they had a plans like in 2027 they'll do this updation. Now it almost like in 7 years they have come by 2020 they are skipping a norm and then they are going to for the 6. So challenges, okay, and what other problems? The price of the vehicles will rise, okay, and people will go to the already what's happening right now between stage Bharat stage 3 and 4 is people from cities. If Bharat stage BS4 is there for capitals, state capitals, just to avoid the emission norms, they buy from the second tier city to avoid the registration tax. They do all this. So when you go all together to stage 6, you will face problem like this. More vehicles. So Indian cities are under which norms? 4 to 5, 5 to 6, or 4 and above, yeah, 3 to 4. It's 3 to 4. Okay, so now we are trying to move to 4 to 6. And then, so there might be one question I just frame, they might not ask directly like this. What is Bharat stage emission standards? What will be the challenges met by Indian government in the implementation of stage 6, Bharat stage 6. So you should know what are the challenges. So this is just nothing, the objectives of it. Next one is odd even policy. I think people who are in Delhi, I don't have to much explain about odd even policy. You would have seen the row for a couple of days what happened. There was any doubts in odd even policy you want? Actually mainly is you have to know the whole reason behind odd even policy was they want to reduce the pollution. But will it reduce that much? Does it have effect? No. But so you just need to know what are the steps to improve the air quality. So I just found this infographics, so I thought it will help you. You need better road maintenance, and then see, instead of giving the odd even policy, I think parking, for the parking you can increase the price. I think you would have read all this, right? Parking prices, make more parking. Yes, want to say something? Strict implementation of emission regulations, ensuring nationwide quality of fuel. So the problem again here is what the old vehicles, trucks and all, what kind of emissions they have. You just need to know that. And comprehensive vehicle scrapping policy. Right now all the scraps, God knows where it goes. If you go to Karol Bagh, inside that automobile area, you know Karol Bagh is a major automobile industry. If you go there, the way the scraps are kept one over the above, God knows for how many years it's left there. From there, radioactive materials do come out. There was a news before 4 years in the cadmium, lead, and all these are released from all the batteries and everything. So you have to know how all these waste has to be disposed properly. So there's no proper scrapping policy abhi tak. Development of mass rapid transport system. So I think we should have a free, whenever there is high pollution, the day there is high pollution in the city, that day we should have a free transport. They should not let us go use metro or buses for free ride. I know the step is there in France or somewhere, I think, on the day China or somewhere, where the day the pollution is very high, they let you use the public transport for free. Transport. So next is policy on promotion of city compose. Actually, odd even policy I don't want to discuss much, because it will either help you as an example, or you will just have to know basically the underlying factors about the air quality or air pollution. Just you have to know that. Okay. Policy on promotion of city compost. What is a city compost? If you want me to tell in one liner, every day morning the kuda that we throw it down, it has to be compost and it has to be used as a good nutrition and soil rediment. This is the main objective of city compost. That is, garbage is collected out of city, but it should be natural. I mean, they cannot use the meats and all that, which we have to avoid, they say, in garbage. So basically the manure will be produced from leftover foods, whatever we waste and all that. So what are the problems that can be faced in city compost? Making a city collection. Segregation of garbage. Yes. Wet and dry. Separation between wet and dry. See, these are very technical. Whatever we are discussing right now, they won't ask you a question on city compost. Like I said, you can use these points in a part of some mains answer. Some way you can use as an example. In governance, it will help you. Paper 2 governance, where they talk about. So you can use city compost as a good rule. Like the policy on promotion of city compost is a good. See, any news that is in environment or ecology, not necessary. The question has to be asked from ecology or environment. You can use it as an example in some governance question or some ethics question, maybe related to ecology and environment. What you study about it, what you understood from it. Okay, some good steps has been taken. Now from this, the basic thing, if you understood, okay, I can use even the garbage to make things fine. In ethics, if there is a case study related to environment, what steps can be taken, what do you do? Or if they ask you a question on environmental ethics, just that you can use these ideas, not directly, and then bring your own answer. So there's 2-3 things. You know what is Ecomark? Ecomark. See, any product that is manufactured, just like Institute of BIS, Bureau of Indian Standards, BIS, they give you this Ecomark, just like ISI ka 9001, 2008 and all, it's there, no? So for that, Ecomark is something where if a product is made completely with environmental material, it will not cause any pollution or problem to a human. Okay, this will have a Ecomark status. See, the last statement states this policy on promotion of city compost is in aligned with Swachh Bharat mission for cleaner cities. So this can become a sub-component. You can consider this. This is one of the sub-component, as in Swachh Bharat mission is for you to clean the city, clean the country. So these are one of the few steps that is taken to make your city clean. Also, this is one of the primary objective of the city compost policy. Next is stranded carbon. So what is stranded carbon? Unutilized carbon. So after 2020, they say there's going to be a set of fuel or anything which will be left unutilized, and their carbon will get accumulated. So they ask you to reduce the use of fossil fuel. So here is what the alternate will be: CNG. LPG is a very good resource. Apart from CNG, LPG is a very good resource. So in India's side, you see there is an implication where they say in Middle East you need to leave 40% of the oil unused and 60% of its gas is underground. What happens in China? So what are the implications of stranded carbon for India? Implications from stranded carbon for India. 1 or 2 points?
That import
No direct implications. Okay. Coal though we have. So what we have to know is we have to ramp up the coal production. This is the first point. Otherwise we keep digging, it gets accumulated. So we have to ramp up the coal production. Next one is it will make the OPEC companies, like countries, oil producing economic countries, to produce more oil, more petroleum. The next is, compared to oil, like we are more dependent on oil, we have to shift from oil to gas. So these are the points that you have to keep in mind. So next is Bharat Innovation Fund. I am not going to discuss about Innovation Fund. There is going to be a lot of funds. All funds are just for one thing, related to any project. Where there is no fund, what they'll do, the main objective will be somehow they'll try to get from somewhere and then they'll utilize it. So there won't be any major question on Bharat Innovation Fund. You can use it as part of an answer. Next, IMD launches a system to monitor air risks and black carbon in atmosphere. So there's a system SAMAR, which is for aerosol monitoring. So what you have to know is what are the implications of aerosol. Let's say aerosols, it helps in condensation nuclei, like mainly for rain. So what is black carbon aerosol? You see actually a dark diagram, no, in your current affairs material. It's actually the one which says black carbon. It is black in color. This side, most aerosols will be in blue color, which means they get used. If black carbon is dark in color and it absorbs solar radiation and it causes global warming. But the other aerosol, it helps cooling. So that doesn't affect the other aerosols. But black aerosols do create problem. Biodiversity database for urban.
how this black carbon is produced?
How it is produced? It is okay. I didn't tell you that. See, from the emissions, aircraft emissions, and then scattered solar irradiations, and then ice cloud effects. From all this, it is produced aerosols. So this PowerPoint will be uploaded in the website. You can download. So these aerosols, and then from the agricultural burning, okay, and coal from the industries, from vehicles, then from open burning, forest fire, house cooking. From all this, black carbon is produced. Okay. Biodiversity database for urban India. So this is for the better species diversity management. This is a step taken by the National Biodiversity Plan, just to group the animals that are there in the urban side also. Right now what we have is, we have two set of different books where what animals are present, which species are present. At the urban side now, because of lot of movement, lot of migration, there are changes. So we have to start recording those things also. So that is why it was like to know, based on the diversity, the local people will know what to plant, what not to plant. Planting, see, plantation is not so easy. Sometimes when you plant a new, any new thing in a new place, without knowing its history, you attract a new set of species that becomes an invasion species of that biodiversity, that area, that ecosystem. Once you have an invasion species, then it disturbs the whole ecosystem. So unless and until you don't know the history, like what was there before, what kind of plants was there, what kind of animals was there, so you cannot just like that, you should not go into starting anything new. So that is the whole point of recording this biodiversity. So Ministry of Shipping launches Project Green Port. So Green Ports Initiative, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, two interconnected things. Now this becomes specifically to ships and harbors. Whatever wreckage, whatever garbage, whatever shipwrecks or anything, they have to take. Oil spills and all related to ships will be taken care of, these two programs. But still the whole point is it's about cleaning. Preparation, monitoring, and then how do you turn the sewage or wastewater without sending it to sea, how do you work on it, like bioprocess it, the steps without polluting the atmosphere or the land, sending it through the sea. All these points will be taken care of, these 3 points. So under Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, what they do, they clean the toilet areas and they keep it very clean, and then beautification, cleaning of parks around. So these are very outer things, but the whole point is again cleaning, Swachh Bharat. So under Swachh Bharat, multiple components are coming before you. You might not, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan is a program to clean the entire India. But now you saw something related to harbor alone. You have green ports, wherever there are ports all over India. And then in future you will see for river specific, and then you will see for city specific. So every component inside a nation is subdivided. Again, they are taken part by part. Initiatives under Namami Ganga program. So this is just the name of the initiative, like under subcomponent of the Namami Ganga program, that is Ganga Gram Yojana. And then what do they do in the PPP model? Next is they will have deployment of Ganga task force. So where the money will be spent, especially for pollution abatement and then new sewage treatment plants and short term measures, all this will be taken. And under this thing you have one question. So through which of the following states? See, they have given 5 states: Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Jharkhand and West Bengal. So it means in all these 5 states Ganga is flowing. So you should know where Ganga starts from, Dev Prayag, and then they join at Allahabad, and then how it goes through, which states there's more Ganga, like the flow of Ganga in kilometers, in which states, in order, in kilometers, like UP mein, first in UP, second which state, third, and then West Bengal. Then it joins, at which point it joins with Yamuna, and then it flows into all this, the points, the places you should. So it is actually, I think from Land and the People from India Your Book, you will know few of these points. So these are the 21 points under Namami Ganga. So if you actually see this, there's one point which says like Ganga Task Force engagement of out of these 21 sub points, they are starting one by one. They are implementing one by one. So you should just know these 21 points, what are the sub-components, and those sub-components are very clearly darken, maintaining environmental flow, sewage treatment facilities, effluent flowing directly outside. And then this one point here in the previous page where they say the villages, the Ganga Gram Yojana is wherever the Ganga is flowing in villages, there they'll make sure that the sewages doesn't enter into the river. So this model they have taken from Punjab. The villages will be deployed, and then the Sheshwal model is situated in Punjab, where the cooperation of the villages have been solicited for the water management and waste disposal in the meticulous way. So this is a very good example for a governance step. So this is about a big project. In a big project, you find where they have taken example from a very small village from Punjab. Okay, it's a good governance example for governance topic. Okay. Next, green signal to Raptor MOU. So what is Raptors? So eagles, third point, any species, that is eagles, kites, vultures, hawks and owls, like birds of prey, they are called raptors. So mainly this was between Africa, started from Africa. So what you have to see is which of these species, out of the 76 species of birds of prey, 46 are there in India. Like I said, I was discussing about vultures. Here you will be seeing all the different species, be it is a vulture, hawks or all. What is the specific species name? Because they ask in prelims, which of the following species is critically endangered or endangered, you should know. And then the convention, it only comes under the convention of migration of migratory species, convention of migratory species, CMS. So if I ask you, give you for example, let's say camel, turtle, monarch butterfly, then shark, among these, which of the above four, whatever I mentioned now, will fall under the convention of migratory species?
So this turtle, this butterfly also.
Hmm.
There's, I don't know what Trans-Siberian camel. This Trans-Siberian camel that moves across.
All are included. So you should know if there is any convention. There are so many conventions in ecology and environment. You should know which animals will come. So you don't have to actually read an entire thing. Let's say like migratory species. Migratory species is nothing but it travels from one place to other, which can for a very long number of days. Camels can do that. Turtles do. Shark does. Monarch butterfly does. So it's a basic instinct. You just need to know, okay, migratory species, from that you should be able to derive the answer. So the next one is consultation on biodiversity finance initiative. Again, funding, you need funding, there is no funding, I need funding, please provide funding. So any funding, this is what you will find. Just that you will see who are involved there. Extra additional involvement. Like, if they are talking about funding, it will be either with a developed country to developing countries asking developed countries to please contribute, or if it's an inside the nation, they will ask the private players to contribute. If it is a regional cooperation, they will all say, okay, I will contribute this much, you contribute this much, we'll together put in and then we'll create a funding. So this is the only difference will be in different fundings, but altogether any funding will be used for keeping a program going. So maybe see the one different point is here, BioFin is managed by UNDP's Ecosystems and Biodiversity Program in partnership with EU, Switzerland and Germany. Snowflake coral is posing a major threat to the coral reef colonies in 3 areas: Gulf of Mannar, Gulf of Kutch, Andaman and Nicobar. So in India, where all do you find coral reefs? Lakshadweep, Andaman, Gulf of Kutch, Gulf of Mannar, Kambai. So you see, they say snowflake corals are invasive species. No? There are different terms like this. What is an invasion species? What is a keystone species? Have you heard these terms? Keystone species. There was a question like 2 years back about let's say bear hibernation. which of the following is a hibernating animal? They gave bat, bear. I don't remember the question exactly. It is actually not some random question. It is based on a keystone species. All these are keystone species. So whatever different kind of species is there in ecosystem, try to understand those things. Keystone species, invasive species, and there are 2-3 other species, I'll tell you. Oceans to have more plastic than fish by 2050. So it is a news, it is a fact, they have just a finding. There's no challenges, there's no understanding about it. It's simply a fact finding based on the research that was conducted. By 2050, if we go in this level, more than fish, you will just put a fishing rod, you will just get plastic instead of fish. That's what they're saying basically, there will be more plastic than fish. So you can use this as a fact. Then organic farming. So what we should not do to avoid one thing, what we should not do to have more plastics in the sea. So these are the steps they've given for way forward step, just that make sure that your plastic doesn't reach at the first place. I am in Delhi, so plastic doesn't reach. Recycle, never litter. Plastic packaging, we can avoid it, we can use more eco-friendly products. But even when you use eco-friendly products, you have to use gum to stick that paper. So what will happen to the gum if it goes to sea? So this is, you cannot completely avoid anything, but you can at least minimize its effects. If some problem is going to happen in 50 years, let's make sure it doesn't happen for another 100 years. At least we can make our immediate future's lives are safe. It is up to them to do anything about later. Organic farming. Different kinds of farming is another important thing for mains, because there was once a question on precision farming, there was a question on mixed farming and organic farming. Organic farming, from the name, guys, even if you don't know anything, always, don't know anything, just split the words. You know, I think everybody should know what is farming. Organic is nothing but these days every food they say they sell, there is one, if you go to any supermarket, there is one normal atta, there is one organic atta. Abhi I don't know what is the difference between organic atta or normal atta. I think they use natural manure here in organic, natural pesticides, okay, manures, cow dung and all, okay, gobar, okay, fine. So I guess they tell the truth and then they sell me organic atta, but I don't prefer that. So organic farming is something like that. We use manures, very natural manures, sometimes humanures. They say human plus manure is humanure, we use that. You know, human urine is the best organic manure because it has water plus urea. So when you add urea to soil, it increases the temperature of the soil. It helps in good growth. So these are different points you can add, not necessary you have to write exactly the same points that is there. You can add more points. Other than that, it actually diversifies biodiversity, diversifies the biological life, and then soil ka biological activity. If you see, how many of you have no village or have been to land where there is farming, like for 15-20 years? If you had actually noticed if you remember, the soil color before 10 years would have been somewhere in maroon or red. Because of frequent use of the chemical fertilizers, now you see it will be in black color. We have not seen, okay. Because we don't leave the land fallow, we keep doing the place where you have to do 2 times harvest, you do 3 or 4 times harvest. The whole soils, the chemical structure is damaged. So to avoid that, they are moving towards organic farming. So disadvantages, you know, because organic food is very expensive, because the time you take for 1 harvest, I finish my 3 harvests and I make my money. So you have to give me for 1 kg atta what I do it for 3 kg or 5 kg atta. So this is what happens. I see, I go buy a 5 kg normal pulses for some 50 rupees, the same 5 kg you will buy for 250 rupees because it is organic, because I have put in a lot of time there. It is expensive. Next is, so Other than that is about the whole, you have to know about what is El Nino, how it affects your, it has become 2 cycles. Instead of 1 cycle, it has come to 2 cycles. So, okay, this is the, I just bought a picture to show. This is a snowflake corals, for those who don't know. So, what will be the effects of El Nino from the Peruvian current, and then how it passes, the cycle. You all have read geography? So, El Nino. So, assessment of cities under Swachh Bharat mission. So, people who live in different city, whose city came in the top 10? No, among you who are sitting here, whose cities came in top 10? Chandigarh, rank? Okay, -3. Okay. Huh? Yes? Okay. So, good. So, this is also a part of a Swachh Bharat mission, keeping the city clean. Now we saw the river, we saw harbor, now we saw the city. Now we actually also give, there's this program, no, like transfer to 10 people. I am cleaning my city, now I nominate my 10 other people. Ice bucket challenge. Something like ice bucket challenge. We also had a passing on Swachh Bharat mission challenge. I don't know, abhi tak nobody is nominating me to do it. I hope you all are doing it. Swachh Survekshan, and yes, that's it. How the data is collected, citizen feedback, independent assessment. What are the various things they did it? But what are the parameters? If you actually see parameters for evaluation, strategies to stop open defecation and integrate the city's solid waste management system, which means in most of the cities the solid waste is not managed properly. So they are taking this as a primary parameter. Efficacy of communication strategies of information, education and behavior. So unless and until you tell the city people this is what we want, if you don't educate them, educating someone is very important to bring in any policy change. So whether the city is doing that properly. If you see, go into any city, you will see go green, eco toilets and all this, the steps taken. Like effectiveness of system for sweeping, door-to-door collections and transportation of waste. Whether this is happening. So which means they are promoting these things. If this is not happening, they are promoting these things. Efficiency in processing and disposal of waste, and how good is deployment of public and community toilets. This is very important, especially if it's a tourist centers. Progress made in construction of households, individual toilets. That's why they say even in the Gram Ganga Yojana, they should have toilets in each and every home to avoid the people to go for open defecation near the rivers, because it pollutes the river. So everything is interconnected. You just need to find the link, whether it is for prelims or mains or interview or inside a program or sub-component. Question yourself why this is actually being an objective, how it is related to the other thing. Okay. So I told you I am not going to spoon feed you, sorry. I just will give you how to go forward. Hope this helps. If there is any doubt, you can always mail me at this ID. If I don't pick up, please don't, just leave a message, I'll get back. Thank you. Next session will be economy and science and tech.